Okay, can you please explain the true meaning? Sorry, there's something about Jesus is the Son of God, right? So who is Jesus' father, or the father that Jesus kept referring to in the Bible?
It is the one that all sees as the Father. There is only one God, one Elohim, one Ra. It is all the same. We all stem from exactly the same loving being, that loving light and frequency. And that is what all come from. Does not matter your religion that you have of today. You all come from exactly the same place. But think of it as this. We will give it to you in a way that is simple in understanding. Think of God as the planet and the people as the nature growing on the planet. In different countries, there's different types of plants, but they all come from the same earth. They all still need the same structures. They all still need the sunlight. They all still need the rain. They all still need the life on the planet to create the conditions. Is this not true?
Mm-hmm.
And that is what it is. That is the Father. He has seen it as the Father because that is the Creator, the universal Creator that has not only created the planet but the entire universe, the entire construct. It is just one loving frequency that's experiencing itself in multiple ways. And when it experiences itself away from what it already is. So yes, many could say that the planet is dark and that there is horrible things happening, but there were always these things happening. And thus is what it is about. Thus is why, even when one could say that Jesus did not hate the devil, or that as what was perceived as the devil, Jesus did not hate any of them because they were just a character. They were just something that was placed here in order to create change. One cannot grow if there is not an area that you need to grow towards. Let us put it in this perception. You cannot heal if you did not get sick, correct?
Mm-hmm.
So healing is not a punishment. It doesn't mean that there is something wrong. Healing is just another perception to show you where you can get stronger and where you can elevate and where you can change.
Mm-hmm.
It is never a bad thing, but many have created it as such because they could not understand love and because they were hurt by many others that they have felt this.
Okay, so you're saying love is just an understanding. It's not kind of a euphoric or perpetually positive state as we understand it.
No, it is an understanding, more of, as we could say, comprehension is the correct word.
Mm-hmm.
Because when you can comprehend what it is and how it works, then you can comprehend that it is already in everything. And everything started from that and then grew its experience. Think of it as this way, as a better reference to make sense. Think of it as the human vessel. Everything comes from the nervous system. The brain develops and then the eyes. And from the eyes, thousands and thousands of little strings get released, and on those strings are the nerves, and those nerves start to grow the tissue, the organs, the fingers, the nose, the ears, and everything comes from it. But everything is connected to it, as that is why everything can create and feel sensation. Everything is connected all the time, but just because your ear and your foot have the same tissue construct and the same molecules in the nervous system does not mean that they are physically the same at current. They are different extensions of itself.
Mm-hmm.
And so it is. Many are looking for love, but many are not understanding they are already it. They just need to go back and feel it and remember it. But many are searching for it because they are searching for a false perception of it. And that is when they never achieve it.
And did Jesus really heal people, or was he just helping them understand that they can heal themselves or that they are already healed?
Jesus would touch them and they would feel that love within Jesus. And when they felt that love, it is that they felt it within inside of themselves. And therefore, he passed along that feeling, that vibration, and that vibration allowed them to heal themselves. So yes, one could say he did heal them because he brought the frequency, but they took it and then healed themselves. And that is why even now, when many sit, they can heal themselves, but it's their belief structure around their healing that blocks them from doing it.
Okay, so he basically showed them the frequency of healing, and then it was their choice to embody it or not.
Yes.
Okay. And what is the true meaning behind the Eucharist, the Holy Communion, and the Last Supper?
It is to say that there are many clashing theories and, as we would say, conversations on this, because there are many religious factions who would fight with one another about it. And again, we will not go into detailed information that will cause conflict, because this is not the way. But it was more into understand that when you embody the body of Christ, and let us say this of the blood of Jesus, it is not to say that you have to go and drink Jesus' blood, but it is to understand that his blood is your blood and your blood is his blood. As long as you have a heart, you are connected to the blood, to the Christ frequency, because he was born of human, and all humans have this. We are different in many ways, one would think, but all exactly the same on the inside. And that is what matters. And by taking the blood, it is an embodiment of saying that I accept the frequency. Because once when one activates the crystalline frequency with inside of the blood and can connect to his frequency, you can comprehend the love and see it from the perspective that he saw it from. And that is why he brought this forth, in order for those who get lost, because he knew that it will take a lot of years and there will be conflict around it. Make no mistake. He knew where it was going because he was told, and he was even shown premonitions of the future, of what would happen to people and how people would create religions and fight about it. He knew all of this already. And it was his way of saying that when you call upon this frequency, it is already yours and you can embody it with inside of yourself. But it is not a way that he could explain it back then, an easier way that you could explain it now. He did it in the best way to help their minds comprehend how they could call upon this frequency. Think of Jesus as having a mind of today in a time like that. Could you imagine the loneliness? Could you imagine the hardship? That this was a very emotional time for him. And he had a very good support structure. And as we say, his mother was really good at helping him with this.
Because some people were saying that, I suppose the wine from the Holy Communion was originally, given in the Last Supper. They were ingesting psychedelics which would blast open the third eye. Is there any reference or connection to that?
None that we can state. There was nothing of this sort that was given in order to open their minds in that way. But it was more of Jesus projecting that frequency around them. And one can say that even one that is in that state of now, of sitting without any substance, when you can connect to that frequency within your bloodstream and harness it and truly activate that light, you can create it for all sorts of purposes and communication that one would seem as a psychedelic experience. But we can confirm on this that that was not placed within at that time.
Okay.
Not in that. But it was more that he did bless it in a way that when everyone ingested it, that everybody could be on his frequency and feel what he was feeling and understand in order to move forward from that.
So it's a kind of like sacred ceremony that reminds us that we can activate and harness the energy from the crystals in the blood.
Yes. And that by doing so, you can then access what he accessed. He was not trying to be better or higher than anyone else. He was trying to show that if I can do it, so can you. Anyone can do it. You did not have to be noble or born as a king to be able to do this. But you just needed to understand and comprehend the structures within yourself and what is taking place around you in order to merge them together. And that is what he brought forth in with his teachings. And that is why he did that, was to show everybody that even they who were sitting with him at that time could access that in that way, that it was not just him. He was not special. He was just conscious about love and what it truly was. And he was just trying to teach everyone that they already have that consciousness within them, even if they are using it or not.
Well, I suppose he was training for his whole life to be able to be who he was. It's kind of almost unfair to tell people just to do that, overnight, if they haven't had that training since childhood.
But it is to say that he already went through the training for you. When you activate it with inside of the blood, when you truly love yourself and love everything with inside of this body, and you activate that blood, you get all of the teachings, all of the knowledge, you get everything that he sacrificed his life for to bring forth to you, you already get within you. So why would you want to go and torture yourself in that way when you can harness it? It is already there. When he was on the cross, he locked the heart frequency. He allowed it to be part of his last stream with inside of the blood system, because all blood is at the same frequency. That is why every vessel can live. That is why they're all connected and can feel from each other frequencies moving, because of this crystal liquid with inside of your body that you call blood. And with this blood, he then locked it within his heart, and he locked his frequency with inside of the memory of the DNA of these crystals. And every single person has the same crystals with inside of them. There is no special factions and people who have and people who do not. Some have different structures with inside of their blood systems, yes, that do make them different. But this original liquid crystal is what runs the heart. It's what creates the heart, because that is the only thing that ties you into physical and spiritual at the same time, that creates this electromagnetic field and push and force and creation. And when he locked the hearts, he locked it that you could only achieve this knowledge and only understand how to utilize this when you have mastered yourself. Because if you could love yourself through all of your mistakes that you will always be doing, and all of the things that you have already done, and understand yourself in such a way that you do not place judgment, then your heart will open to where you need to go.